Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing good. So today I'm not here with a repotting video, but as you can see, this plant is already very well grown. This is a butterfly pea plant, and I have this one in white color over here. This is grown a little bit too much. It was growing around a railing, so it was getting in the way, so I decided to make a trellis for it. And today's video is going to be about a trellis only. So earlier on I used to just put in a few stakes to help the plant grow upwards, but this time I decided to make something different. I've seen a few videos of different gardeners uh, using different kinds of trellises, so I decided to make one for myself as well. This other plant is also butterfly pea plant, but this one is in blue color, the violet bluish color, which is very popular for the tea part. That is the smaller one, and the bigger one is the white blooming one. So I had a few stakes. I was just trying to figure out which plant should I use these stakes for, because I've got some bigger stakes as well. So I decided to use the bigger one for this bigger plant and the smaller ones for the smaller plant. I had some other supplies which were lying around my house, so I decided to incorporate those as well. And those will be a ring of wire, an extra wire we had lying on my terrace. So that is over here, and some jute twine. I decided to cover it all with jute twine because I was not liking the look of wire as is, and I had some super glue just to hold the twine in its place after once it's tied around the ring. So we'll be making a ring with this wire, and then we'll attach this ring to one of the stakes, one of the bigger stakes, because smaller stake, it was bigger than the smaller stake that I had at hand. And so I had some extra plastic thread to tie the ring on its own, because I was not sure if it will hold its shape, and the plastic thread was much sturdier than the jute twine. In my experience, it's been much more sturdier. So here I am just trying to twist the end part of the wire in the circle only, because it was a sturdy wire. So I tried to cut it, but it was not getting cut easily. So I just decided to just twist it around the circle only. And it was, I had to put in a little bit of effort for that as well. See how it was just going away when I was trying to twist it. So here I am holding it with the table and my body, between the table and my body, and I'm trying to twist the end part with my hand. It took a minute, but I did manage to twist it around, even though there was a bit of a pointy part which was not very secured, and it had a rust part with it, as it was laying on the rooftop as is. So a little end got rusty, so that piece broke off on its own. And here I had some pliers at hand, and I had decided to just twist the end part so that it's not as poking outwards. It could injure someone, it could injure me or someone else who tries to touch it. So I just wanted to twist the end part a little bit so that it's not as pointing outwards. And I did this, and the ring is ready now. So here is this bigger stick. It was actually not a stick, it was an extra piece of wood which was lying around after we had some woodwork done in our home. So it came in hand just at the right time. I found it and I decided to use it. And here I'll show you by laying it on the table. See, the proportion of the ring with this stake is much better than the smaller ones. And here I am tying the plastic thread to secure the ring properly, even though it was not moving anywhere, but I still wanted to take an extra step just to make it more secure. I'll be tying it from 3 different places, because obviously 1 is not enough and 4 is too much. I just went how I felt, you know. I thought 3 will be enough, so I did 3 ties with this one. I'll be covering it whole with that jute twine that I had at hand on the table. I won't be covering it on camera. It'll be a very long video if I do that. and it will be a very difficult position for me to stand and just tie it for that time period. So I'll be covering it off camera, and I'll maybe use that super glue in between so that the thread holds its place and it does not move around much. I'll be using the twine on that wooden piece and the wires both as well. Even though there's gaps in between the rings, the wire ring, but I was not very worried about it because you know that is why I was covering it. Even though the plant will cover the wire, but I still wanted to go a step further and just cover it. It'll be much more pleasant to the eyes, than just looking at wire when the plant is dormant and loses its leaf. And where I'm just trying to show that extra piece of wood. So let's just use the super glue and tie this twine all around both the pieces, and I'll be back after it's done. So it was a good decision for me to do it off camera. It took me around 40 minutes to cover both the parts, approximately 40 to 45 minutes, and now I'm done. I finished that small glue as well while doing so. So I had opened another bigger one that you can see on the table, and I'll use this glue to tie both these pieces together. They'll be glued together, and I'll be tying them with small pieces of twine as well. The reviews of this glue were actually better than the other one, so it was a good thing that I was finished with that one. I applied the glue and then pressed both the pieces together a little bit. This was very much like the silicone consistency. I leave it around for a few seconds to dry it a little bit, and then I'll tie it as well. Here I am tying it with the twine. I'm not using anything different. The same twine that I wrapped around the whole body of this trellis. I was initially planning to make two of the same shape, but the amount of time it took me for this one piece, I decided I won't be doing it for another one, which is actually good. The other plant is not as big as the one I wanted to use this one on, so I'll be making another one of different shape. Where I got a bit confused, glue was not fully dried at this point, and I just wanted to make sure that it's tied properly. And now I'll just keep it aside so that the glue dries off completely. I was maybe not happy with that one tie, so I took another piece and I decided to tie it again. This will actually be much more beneficial for the plant, not for this one, but for another plant if I do plan to use it for some other vine like pothos or something, because this jute twine will help hold moisture for a bit longer, and it can cool off the plant in hot summers. These butterfly pea plants, they actually are to be kept in full sun even in hot summers. They can be grown in shady areas also, but I don't think they'll bloom as much as compared to the plant which is placed in a sunny area. So mine have always been in sunny areas, and I have not had any issues of them wilting or dying. Here I am trying to secure another tie on the twine piece. I just wanted to test if it's holding its shape properly. It was, and just to secure it more nicely, I was just applying a little bit more glue on the gaps which were visible, so that it just bonds together properly and holds its shape nicely. Now I'll just see, I've applied more glue, so I'll need to put it to rest for a little bit more longer period of time. So let's keep it aside under a fan so that it dries more quickly. So let's see what kind of trellis. I have looked at some other ideas, and I really liked that one which had some fan kind of shape of trellis. I don't have the equipment to bend the trellis at the moment, and I don't have some curved trellises at my hand, so I won't be making a proper like fan shaped trellis, but that is the basic idea that I'll be following. So I'm putting three pieces of stake, and I'll be connecting them at the base. So I just want to get an idea how wide I could go, so I had that pot on table earlier. After getting an initial idea, I placed it by just my intuition, and this is what I decided to be its basic shape. That's how wide I wanted it to be, and I'll secure it at that base point. I'll tie a twine piece, and I won't be gluing it because it will go in the ground, so it won't be as free to move around, so it will stay put on its own. So I won't be gluing at that point, but I am putting like four more stakes vertically, crossing all three initial stakes, and I'll be gluing each point of contact on these stakes, and then I'll be tying it with another piece of twine just to hold it together, and so that the glue can cure it properly and a proper bond can be formed between the two joint pieces. So let's do that. I turned the stake around, and I am applying the like a good amount of glue on it, so that even if it moves, it still had some glue to hold on to. I'd already cut like 12 pieces of twine of like good length, so that I can twist it around and tie it properly. I just was just in a hurry because I did not wanted to wait long, and the pieces were not coming off. Just trying to see if the glue is actually in contact at the with both the pieces. I'm crossing it around both the corners and from all the sides, trying to cover as much. And I'll follow the same thing on each of these joints. Just crossing the twine from both the sides and going down under, turning it around and bringing it up from other sides and making a knot again. Just making sure that the glue is at the right place and is touching both the stakes. Crossing it around, tying a knot, and then repeating it once again, just to make sure that the knot is secure enough so that at least it holds its space till the glue is cured. I actually already tied like roughly just to hold the 3 stakes properly. I had some twine around the base just so that it doesn't move around while I'm trying to glue other stakes on these 3 stakes. The same process again, putting on like a good amount of glue. This is no, I did not measure it like the gap between the stakes. I just went with like my eyes only. I'm just guessing that it'll be like the same distance. Nobody's going to like scale it around, but it should not be that obvious that the gap is different for each stake. Any which ways it will be covered with the plant. It won't be visible as much. It's just there to support the growth of the plant, but it should look good also. And this, I feel this one is much more easier and much more convenient, and it's a very good shape as well. That one, the other shape, it takes time, and I do it like if I have a really good plant, but I'd prefer this one. But I don't think it will be much more efficient in a bigger size. You need something much more sturdier than glue. Maybe nail the pieces together or something. For shorter size, I think this design is much more better, much more practical and much more easier. So the same way I'll be tying the rest of the 2 stakes across as well. The same knot method, tie it once, then go under it and twist it around and bring it up from the other sides, and then tie the knot again. I'm tightening it as much as I can without breaking the jute twine. I'm just trying to check if the glue is actually touching all the parts. Let's do the rest of the two stakes as well. Here I'm trying the first trellis that I made on the pot. This is in a time-lapse video because it was at the weird angle which I did not think of at the time of filming, but so I decided to put it in time-lapse mode. I'm just twisting all the vines one by one around the trellis so that it's in a good enough position that it doesn't fall over easily and it can grow on its own in the future. Securing it properly at the base as well so that it doesn't fall over or something. And you can have a little bit of an idea. And here I'm testing the other stick. I did the same thing for the last two stakes as well while tying them and gluing them. I'm twisting the vine around it. It was a good idea to use this style of trellis on this one because the vines were not that long for this one, and I actually quite like this one much more better than the other one, even though that also looks very good. Here is the final result for both the vines. See, that one is almost at the top of the ring. It was falling a bit over, but as it grows, it will climb on its own. It will twist around on the circle on its own. I won't have to do much for it. I'll just go and place it in a sunny place. I hope you like my video, and if you do, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching, guys. See you soon.